Hey, this is Chris. Again, an interesting, hopefully interesting video for you. If you are new to Ravencoin and the blockchain world, that would be a great journey, because this will be an introduction of the way we think, or we could think about the future of blockchain technology, future of Ravencoin and its possibilities. And I'm in a new pullover I bought from one of the merchants of Ravencoin, of the Ravencoin community. They create pullovers, caps, shirts, bags, and so on in the recall Moonshop merch web page. You can Google them, Moonshop merch, and then you can buy some of the pullovers and clothes with the Ravencoin logo, which is a great way to represent the community and bring it closer to people. You can talk about this, and then more people know about that, which is a way to spread the knowledge about Ravencoin and its benefits and its possibilities, because we are still very early on. And the similar allegory would be if we go back in time and we see the explorers who started from Spain and discovered the new land. And if you know, you know that Spain was separated in 4 kingdoms, I think, and one of them became Portugal, because I think Ferdinand. So the daughter of a king, was about to marry a nobleman, and as a gift, they gave this land, part of Portugal, to them. I think it was Isabella. So it was like this, that the Catholic nobles, the monarch was created by Franz Ferdinand I, I think, and Queen Isabella. So Queen Isabella became the wife of Ferdinand, and his father gave Portugal, part of Portugal, as a gift to Ferdinand, but I think he died, or something. It was something like this, that he died, and then the queen did not give back the land to his father, and she did not give back the land, and she had a son, and the son started to conquer the southern part of Portugal. So Lisbon became part of this. But let's jump further in time, and if we go to Italy, where Christopher Columbus was born in Genova, he moved to Portugal with his father, and he was not really a salesman, as many know or think. He was, I think his father was selling goat cheese or some cheese on markets, and he was raised there. So he was not from a noble family. But luckily for him, he found a wife who was a very famous noble woman, and they had sugar plantations, and which was not in Portugal, but somewhere on the sea, maybe on the, I'm not sure if it was on the, but anyway, so they had sugar plantations, and Christopher had to travel with them on ships, and this is how he discovered the way sailors and merchants work together. So, and he wanted to start a journey to the new land, and he was talking with Isabella, probably through his new nobility, let's say, and first they did not give them any chance to conquer or discover the new land. But then on the second time, I think at the second time, even the queen and Ferdinand, I mean, they said, okay, yeah, we should go with him, and they gave him 3 ships, 2 smaller ones and a big one, and then they started the journey. And usually the food on these ships being a kind of cake, which was made of just water, salt, and meal, or how do you call it? Yeah. And this was like a pressed cranky kind of biscuit, which they took, and they've been eating some fish as well, and they started the journey. And this took much longer than they expected, and they've been almost running out of food. And they said, okay, everybody wanted to Christopher to return. They said, oh no, we should go back because our food is low and we cannot survive if we continue. But they continued to. He said that 2 more days. Let's try it for two more days. And on the second day, they have seen some gray land there, and they've been excited, and this is how they arrived to the islands near to the new land. So when he arrived to the island which is called now the Bahamas, and that time in 1494 in that time, which was dated on 2 years before he came, the population in 1492, the population of the Bahamas was 6 million people. So this is where he first arrived, and then 3 more journeys followed this. And we will come back to this point, to this journey, because the population of Bahamas changed dramatically. Let's continue from here. So there have been 6 million people that time on the Bahamas, and so as we say this story, we have to realize that this was a new exploration, and it was very difficult. It was a difficult start. They don't wanted to finance the journey, but somehow they thought that it's a good thing and it has some potential. And I think this is similar in case of our special coin or blockchain, better to say blockchain system, the Ravencoin blockchain, because this was also founded by a nobleman in a way that he realized what potential it has, and the potentials are huge actually. And if you compare with Columbus' journey, you will see what the effects are. Because when Columbus arrived, there was just a little. I mean, he found some gold, and when he traveled back, he collected some of the gold, and actually he lost one of his ship because there was a storm, and the biggest ship, his ship, was smashed to the rocks, and it was gone. And they rebuilt it in a way that Columbus could keep the gold in that. And he left there a dozen or even more people there, like 30 people, to guard this treasure that he collected. Although it was not an easy thing, and there were not so many golds as people expected. But he traveled back to Portuguese, and he took with him like 10 local people, and he thought that he discovered India, and this is why he named them Indians. And this is very funny, especially the names in South America, because, for example, Colombia is named after Columbus, although he never been in Colombia. But this is like, they remember on him in this sense. Although Columbus was, he behaving not well on the new land. And Costa Rica's money is called Cologne, I think, or Cologne, which is also in memorial of Columbus. So this is very funny how this spread the word and how he became a hero actually. Yeah, so he went back with these 10 slaves, and then the next journey started after he presented his findings, and he was hoping to get 10%, I think 10% of the land what he discovered. I'm not sure about the percent, but something like this. So he gets most of the island, all of the islands, and some of the land he discovers. This was the deal with the monarch, and yeah, this was an interesting thing. And so he went back, and then he got another foundings, and he came again, I think with his cousins, like 3 cousins or something like this. So he can conquer and map up the land. And if you see this journey, you notice that it took a lot of time. Although in our age, the information age, information spreads extremely fast, and these processes are dramatically slowed down. So much faster happen. Usually things happen much faster today than in the past, because their journey took 20 days, and then years went until they discovered and conquered, and all the events happened. And it had a huge effect on the existing European culture as well. You will see why. And this is going to happen in the blockchain world as well. I mean, the existing world, the existing financial world, the existing art world, the existing institutions are going to be affected extremely. And I will give you some examples, and the examples will be through food, which might be a good one here, which could help us to understand and see what affects this kind of new systems or new products which came from the new world had and which can have, like in case of the blockchain system, of the existing blockchain systems. And there are healthy blockchain systems which are not owned by an individual or a group or with special privileges, because there are these kind of blockchain systems. Ravencoin is a pure, clean blockchain system where there is no authority who owns or started in a way that he gave some special rights to his friends. Bitcoin and Ravencoin are the two which have the most potential, especially because of its start and its ethical form. Bitcoin was given without any thoughts or any special privileges. Well, we don't know exactly how much Satoshi has, how many coins, or I don't know. But in case of Ravencoin, there was no pre-mining, no ICO, nothing which was would have been giving extra benefits for special group. If you mine it, if you buy it, then it's yours, and this is great. And Ravencoin can represent everything, represent gold, can represent fruit, can represent a contract, can represent an old-timer car, or gas or electricity, and you can follow back on the blockchain system, on this network, every single transaction which happens. So you know who did what and when, and you cannot change it, because it's the nodes are separated all around the world, and there is no authority, or this is based on mathematics. You cannot cheat it. I mean, it's and everybody has the information. Every node, everyone who participates it. So no one can actually alter these informations of the transactions and about the what happened on the Ravencoin blockchain system. So this is a new word, the blockchain word, and that was that time a new word, America, and the new word. And we can come back to this. And I think Americo Vespucci was another one who went and wrote about the new land, and this is why it's called America, because he was promoting and he was describing in his books and writings everything he could about the new land. And he came also from Italy as Columbus, so big respect in front of the Italian people, and I hope that they are going to join, much more are going to join the Ravencoin community as well. So that said, if we go to in the year 1539, then we see another explorer, which was Hernando de Soto, and we have an amazing economist called Hernando de Soto, but I think his name is in honor of this explorer. And actually the economist Hernando de Soto is mind-blowing, and his works are already used in the blockchain system by making land titling possible in Africa, and I think in New York and Utah and on many places. So this project already started, which was based on the ideas of Hernando de Soto, that there are land. So the real poor people, they don't own their own land. Because there is no legal form in that country to document the lands, and with the blockchain system in some of these regions, the start of documenting ownership, land titling and ownership of the land already started on the blockchain systems, which is wonderful. So we are respecting Hernando de Soto, the economist, and we are respecting Hernando de Soto, the discoverer. Although Hernando de Soto, the discoverer who arrived to the new land in 1539, he was an explorer, and actually he got sick and unfortunately he died there. But he brought a lot of pigs with him, and these pigs after his death spread in the region in South Florida. I think he was in South Florida, and only just this thing that he brought with him some animals from a completely different land had a huge effect on the population of the new world. And these are the hidden things which could come up in the future of the blockchain technology. Unexpected effects could come up as well, and some are bad and some are wonderful, and you will see the bad side here. Like in case of the explorer Hernando de Soto, and you will see the good side as well in case of the foods exported from the new land after the discovery. So the pigs being spread out after his death. I think de Soto died in a flu, and the pigs spread, and they took with them in the new land a kind of something which had an effect that it started a swine flu in the new land, and the locals, the natives, they started to die, and many died. So 96% in 100 years. 96% of the population there in the Florida region died, the natives, which is, it's incredible. so 100 years. And there could be effects in discovery or in a discovery like this. And if you go down to the south, to the Amazonas region, in those forests, the discoverers, I think there was, how do you call, Columbian exchange. I think the Columbian exchange is the name. You can Google this, and you will find that actually those who went in the Amazonas were so this Amazon jungle and was flourishing that time before when the explorers first came, and there been clean water and fruits and beautiful vegetation. Everything was perfect, but because of the new people arrived, they took from Africa the malaria, and I think that mosquito was the one that they took with them, and there was malaria, which already started, and yellow fever, I think, as well. And since then, this region is a killer zone, which means that if you go there, you need some protection, and you have to be very careful on where you drink and so on. So and it started that time in the 15th century or after the conquerors arrived in the Amazon jungle. So I think that this kind of events and new discoveries and huge changes in the world have good effects and bad effects on the natives in America. These diseases had a terrible effect, but it happened on the same happened in Europe, because from the natives, these travelers brought back to Europe syphilis, and syphilis was terrible, and until the penicillin was discovered, there was not really cure. Although in Italy there was a guy, what was his name? I think. Who discovered that in their family wells in the house, in the garden, those people who've been drinking from the wells which had some pills in them, had a healing effect on special illnesses, which was actually related to this. Yes, Vincenzo Tiberia was the one who was a medical student, and he discovered that from these wells, those who've been drinking the water, this could heal diarrhea, and this was in 1895 or something. And then Alexander Fleming was the one who discovered penicillin later. A Scottish biologist and immunologist discovered penicillin, which cured syphilis. Penicillin was the solution, but it took hundreds of years to find this cure. Although there have been, and I think earlier in Africa there have been as well some locals, they've been using pills, I think, for curing diseases which are extremely close to what the penicillin is made of. But let's jump to the good side. So there have been bad sides and effects, and I think maybe the blockchain systems are going to have effects on the economy, like banks could be gone forever in their current forms, and many are going to suffer, who are the owners of the banks, if they cannot adapt fast enough to these changes. So this been the bad sides, and it could come to some effects in the blockchain. Let's say this march and of the blockchain world, which is overtaking the existing world we know. But the good side was also there in case of this new land. I mean, it was a new place to discover. You could move there, you could start a new life there, and this is the same with the blockchain system. You can be an early adopter of the blockchain world if you enter in the metaverses, if you create softwares which are used in the metaverse. Related to, for example, Ravencoin. So if you are a developer and you want to be part of this journey, then if you create some applications that could be used on the metaverses, like the Sandbox and the others, so that Ravencoin could be used there as a token or as a form of payment or as a ticket for an event in a metaverse or an art gallery and so on. So if you do this, then you can be then you can belong to those who start this new world and make their foundation, as I described this by the allegory of New York, how it grew up. These skyscrapers, the owners of the skyscrapers of New York, are those who've been the early adopters, who made the companies there and built their systems in a way that those who came later could rent. And these founders are going to be those who create the Ravencoin applications and systems that all are going to use. And I hope that most of us are tending to the metaverse, because that's going to be the next step in this information transition. So the good stuff. Let's see what good things happened in the past with these journeys. One of them is this: that in the discovery, new fruits being discovered, and you can call in our allegory every fruit to a different blockchain system, like the potato, which had a huge impact on Europe. First they took back to Portugal, and then it spread to Germany and France and Ireland. And Ireland, one of the major food of Ireland is potato, and it has a major explosion of population on Ireland. So the population was exploded after the extra food that potato gave them, and there have been it had a down effect as well, because then it came to a potato shortage because of some disease, potato disease, which had a huge effect on the population again. But then it was collapsing, and this was a time actually when the Irish, I think many Irish people moved to the New World because of the food shortage. So potato had a huge effect, which could be said that, let's say, potato is, well, I would not call Ravencoin potato. I would call, for example, the fruit tomato, because tomato is another fruit which came from actually potato was first discovered in the highlands of Peru, so it came from Peru, and in this discovery journey, and tomato had a huge effect as well. I think tomato was first rejected. So when first tomato came, to the old world, to Europe, then it was first rejected, and they said, "Oh no, it is toxic and it has not a good effect on the body," and so on. And then it became an aphrodisiac and widely loved fruit. Some call it vegetable, I call it fruit. But yes, and the Italian culture and the food culture of Italy, and now the entire globe has a huge foundation on this fruit, on tomato. And I would call Ravencoin as the tomato of the discovery of the new world, which is something that came out of this revolution, of this conquering or discovering new worlds. And this is what we bring in, and it is going to have a huge effect on our society. And this is something we love, and we promote, and we share. And there have been other fruits like chili and chocolate as well. I think chocolate from Mexico in the year, when was it, 1520 or so, when the first chocolates came in sacks in this kind of, I don't know exactly, but you know what I'm talking about. So these things could be a good example for us to understand the perspective, the time horizon, because 100 years went, and of course, I mean, history. Some say that history repeats itself, and this is a kind of repeating in a sense that some underlying forces are similar now than then. So I hope it was interesting, fun, and I hope some of the artists are going to be inspired by the tomato, the Ravencoin, the fruits of the new land, which gave a wonderful future to Europe and England. Or Britain, let's say Great Britain and Europe. And tobacco, tobacco is one which came also from, I think, from Cuba, maybe from Cuba, which was, I mean, it had a huge effect. I mean, if you see tobacco, it was not just used in Europe, for example. It was blown in kids' noses when they've been coughing. It's an extreme usage, and I think these cryptocurrencies have also some places where they use the currency where you say, oh, this is, or the way they use it is like strange, but it was strange, and it had spread further to China, and a huge, I mean, all the Chinese nation became a smoker. So everyone became a smoker, and this plant had a major journey and a major effect, and we are discovering this, and we are we are the early user of this one of these systems in the Ravencoin, with the Ravencoin blockchain system, which is going to change the world, like these fruits and plants and vegetables did. So think about this and ponder on that, and if you are an artist, if this is inspiring, then I hope that we can see some of the Ravencoin artworks in regard of this allegory of the past. And we have to research history more to understand the future, and we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen with Ravencoin. So this is not financial advice at all, because we don't know what AI is going to bring, or quantum computer. How can they? What capability quantum computers could have, and so on. So I hope the best, and hope it was joyful, and have a nice day.